The Falcons have won the toss, and Eric Weems is back deep for Atlanta. Falcons at 8-7, won't be going to the playoffs, could finish with a 9-7 record. Here's Weems inside the 5. And a good return, and a flag goes down, and so is the ball jarred loose. Penalty marker down, and the ball came loose from Eric Weems. And it's recovered by Tampa Bay. Tenard Jackson knocked the ball away.
Big hit, but
number 52, that penalty is declined. First down, Tampa Bay.
It's a big hit by Tenard Jackson, but if I'm Atlanta, I might want to throw the red challenge flag. I'm not sure that the ball came out until he hit the ground.
Coy Wire penalty, and it was declined by Tampa Bay. So already Mike Smith's team is in an early hole.
See, this is where if you're Mike Smith, and I believe he has already thrown the challenge flag. There's the big hit, but Weems still has the football, and he's down on the ground, and the ball is still in the crook of his arm before it comes out. So I think this is a challenge that Atlanta will end up ultimately winning, and they will have possession to start the ball game.
Jackson forced it, and Kareem Huggins, the rookie, recovered it.
So Eric Weems bringing the ball up. Here comes the hit. Big blow by Tenard Jackson.
There's the ball loose.
And you see it loose on the ground. But again, watch Weems as he goes down. Ball is still in the crook of his arm. As it's starting to move, that's going to be the key. Is it moving up from his arms before he hits the ground?
And the call on the field is that it was a fumble by Weems. And you have to have indisputable visual evidence if there is a challenge to reverse it. So far we have not heard from the referee Gene Steratore, and a big special team start for Raheem Morris's Buccaneers. And
in Tampa Bay, they don't just call it offense and defense and special teams. They call the special teams we-fence, because of the group collectively coming together. A number of starters play on special teams, Tenard Jackson being a prime example on that big hit, and they take great pride in it. Richard Bisaccia, one of the better special team coaches in the NFL, and the Buccaneers play awfully well for him.
And of course, Michael Spurlock with the 77-yard punt return last week to spark this team. You don't often see many teams really as on a high as a 3-12 team is, as we've seen from Tampa Bay at this point.
And a big part of it has been the special teams. They've played well all year long. Number 1 cover team on kickoffs in the NFL. Number 3 in kickoff returns.
And they did review it, so the challenge flag was thrown, and so Gene Steratore.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Tampa's ball 1st and 10. Atlanta will be charged with its first timeout.
It's going to be one of the earliest timeouts charged that you'll see in the NFL, and there was not enough evidence to overturn the ruling on the field.
Right, and I think what they determined when they looked at the replay was that the ball was starting to move in Eric Weems' arms as he was coming down.
So a break for the Buccaneers, and let's see if they can take advantage. Earlier this year, the Falcons won 20-17 on a touchdown with 23 seconds left in Atlanta from the 28-yard line. And here's Cadillac Williams knocked back by John Abraham, and a loss on the play of 4 yards. Let's take a look now at the Tampa Bay offense. And the big target has been Kellen Winslow, the tight end. So the tight ends figure very big in this game.
And Cadillac Williams' comeback has been nothing short of sensational. And the running game for the Buccaneers is picked up as a result.
Sure has. Meanwhile, Kellen Winslow lines up split to the right on 2nd and 14. And the handoff is to Cadillac Williams, who gets up to the 30-yard line, and the tackle by Curtis Lofton. 2-yard pickup there. Josh Freeman, and has won his last 2 starts, but last week against the Saints also established a career best 69% completion percentage.
One of the worries about him coming out of Kansas State was accuracy. He's starting to really increase his efficiency throwing the football.
3rd down and 12 from the 30.
Hey, 3 down, 3 down, 3 down, 3 down. Hey, Mike 5-2, Jason.
Here's the pressure on Freeman, and this pass incomplete. Good pressure up front, and the linebackers as well, and the pass was intended for Antonio Bryant, bringing up 4th down.
So how do you bring down a quarterback's accuracy? Just as you called, Dick, put pressure in his face. John Abraham off the edge, then coming up the middle, Stephen Nicholas, who played his college football on this field for the University of South Florida.
So Connor Barth will try to give the Buccaneers the lead. It'll be a 48-yard field goal. Barth with a 47-yarder in overtime beat the Saints last week. And the kick is good. And there you see Gene Steratore talking to Eric Weems about the fact that the elbow was not down, trying to cradle the football, and a little encouragement on top of that, Charles.
Yeah, and I think he was telling me the ball had already started to move in his arm, so he didn't truly have possession. That's why they determined it was a fumble.
It was a 4-play scoring drive that amounted to -2 yards. And a 3-0 lead for Tampa Bay's. Connor Barth will be kicking once again to Eric Weems. Weems this time at the 1. And you can see him really protecting the ball as he gets to the 22-yard line. And that's where Matt Ryan and the Falcons will start it off. So Matt Ryan, who has won his last 5 games in December and January, suffered the toe injury in the last meeting between these teams. And there is the Falcons offense. Ojanaka once again at right guard, starting for them.
And Tony Gonzalez is in at tight end, which really helps out Matt Ryan on offense.
And there's Gonzalez to the top of your picture in motion. Play action. And Ryan going to the sideline, and it is caught by Gonzalez, and a flag goes down. Penalty marker down. Catch was made at the 27.
Man downfield. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
That's Tyson Clabo, the right tackle. So that'll erase the 6-yard gain.
So it'd be on the right side of the line, and it's on a misdirection play. And Tyson Clabo getting downfield. That's what ended up hurting him, and that's where the call came from.
First down and 15. Ball at the 17. Hand off to Jarius Norwood. And not much there. And Norwood maybe a loss of 1. Gino Hayes on the play. The Bucs defense. And they shut out New Orleans in the second half of last week. And what a great achievement that was. This is basically, other than a couple of guys, a young defensive unit.
Rondé Barber's a wily vet, but they're really developing young strength, especially at the linebacker position.
2nd down and 14. Norwood in motion to the right. And the pass thrown, and the catch is made by Norwood. And so the Vikings lead the Giants, and the Eagle-Cowboy game coming up next on Fox is huge. On 3rd down and 10 against the rush, the pass caught by Snelling, and Snelling will be stopped short of the 1st down as the Buccaneers over there, and an 8-yard gain, and it was Gino Hayes along with Barrett Ruud once again to prevent the 1st down and a punting situation.
One of the young linebackers we were just talking about, Gino Hayes, in space against the running back Jason Snelling, does a nice job of tackling him in the open field and preventing the 1st down.
Michael Spurlock, the hero last week with his punt return for a score. And Michael Kanan, who's suffered a concussion. But all right, ready to kick. They're going to let the ball bounce, and it is down by the Falcons. Buccaneers lead the Falcons 3-0 on a 48-yard field goal by Connor Barth, taking advantage of a fumble on the opening kickoff. And Josh Freeman has turned things around. 17th overall pick out of Kansas State, making his 9th start, and has promise.
You love his mobility. You love his big arm. The Buccaneers really love his preparation and attention to detail as he's trying to become a very successful pro quarterback.
Starting from the 41. Two tight ends. Out of the shotgun, Freeman's pass, and Jeremy Stevens out of bounds, incomplete.
See all the motions and shifts of the Buccaneers, movement around. That's really taking a page from the playbook of Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. When we talked with Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator of the Buccaneers a few weeks ago, he said that he was a big admirer of what Mike Mularkey does on offense. I think we just saw a mirror image.
2nd and 10, Kellen Winslow went in motion. Power running, Cadillac Williams. Williams brings it out to about the 42-yard line, gain of 1. Cadillac Williams coming off a brilliant game last week, 129 yards and a touchdown, the most rushing yards for this courageous back in 4 seasons.
And getting a lot of mention as this year's comeback player of the year in the NFL, and deservedly so. Not 1, but 2 torn patellar tendons in his knees.
And even the Bucs never thought he would come back like this in 09. 3rd down and 9. Three receivers lining up to the left for Freeman. Abraham gives the chase, and Winslow makes the catch. Very close to the 1st down, and he may have it.
That was well done on 2 fronts. 1, Josh Freeman. His mobility keeps the play alive. 2, his receivers keeping themselves alive and available for Josh Freeman. And how about Kellen Winslow? Understanding where the 1st down marker was, gets himself there, presents a nice target, and lets Josh Freeman find him.
And a 1st down at the 49 of Atlanta. Swinging out to Cadillac Williams, and Williams is put down hard by Chris Owens, the rookie cornerback. Gain of only 2. Second down and 8. Stovall, who has started for Michael Clayton the last couple of games, split out to the right. They run it to Williams up the middle. And he gets to the 45-yard line, picking up 1 yard.
You notice 2nd and long is not necessarily a throwing down here early for the Buccaneers. They have made a real commitment to running the football and have said to themselves, it doesn't matter down, distance situation, especially early in the game. Let's make sure we try and stay with running the football in hopes that the attrition pays off later in the ball game.
They have struggled on 3rd down conversions, and they need 7. They must get it to the 39. Freeman's pass, and overthrown the intended receiver, Antonio Bryant, and that will bring up 4th down.
Covered well in the secondary by the Falcons. They were trying to run really what they call a pick or a rub route for their receivers cutting across the field, using Kellen Winslow as a screen guy, but unable to successfully pull it off.
Atlanta's defense has been especially tough the last 2 weeks. They've given up a total of 10 points in those 2 wins. Sam Pelescu is punting, and Eric Weems back for the Falcons. And this will go into the end zone, touchback. Welcome back to Tampa. 2nd coldest game that the Buccaneers have ever played at home. Not having sun keeps it pretty cool. Temperature about 45 right now. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Falcons. Hand off to Jason Snelling. breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and a good gain out to the 27, where Barrett Ruud makes the stop after a pickup of 7. Well, Mike Smith said not much was talked about the fact that this team has not had back-to-back winning years in franchise histories, and we had no control of the first 43, but we did talk about the fact that winning teams, you know, can sustain and they are relevant. They won 11 last year, and 9 and 7 would go far for that this time. 2nd down and 3. Here is Norwood in the game, and he spins his way for a first down out to the 32.
The idea is to be a winning program each and every year. That makes you relevant in the league and gives you an opportunity to go to the playoffs year in and year out.
First down at the 31 for Atlanta. Play action. And running up and throwing the ball away was Matt Ryan. Smart move because Styles White was on his back. And that will bring us 2nd and 10.
Look at Styles G. White out of a 2-point stance, normally with his hand on the ground as a defensive end. Stand up, almost like an outside linebacker. Goes past Tyson Clabo and puts the pressure on Matt Ryan. He's played very well since becoming a full-time starter after the trade of Gaines Adams to Chicago. The bulk of his damage done since that time.
And leading the team with those 6.5 sacks. 2nd down and 10. Ryan sees open spaces up the middle and slides forward to the 34-yard line and getting 3 yards. And of course, still not 100% from that turf toe injury.
And that's not something that they have him do during the week in practice. During his limited practice time, they don't allow him to do any of the bootlegs or the running plays, any of that. They know he'll do them in the game, but they try and limit that during the week. This is the first time he will run full out each week.
Mike Mularkey says still having problems in stepping forward with that plant foot. Now facing a 3rd and 7. And the pressure is on, and this pass nearly caught by Marty Booker. He had a shot at it, and it was defended by Aqib Talib, but once again, the Buccaneers put pressure on Matt Ryan.
Good pressure on the quarterback. They get in his face, force him to get rid of the football. Nice job by Tim Crowder, number 96. And then really good coverage out on the wing by number 25, Aqib Talib. The Pro Bowl rosters are out. He's not on it, but he's going to be a contender for it every year from here on out.
Neither one of these teams has a Pro Bowl player, as Michael Kanan punting on 4th down, and Michael Spurlock is back deep. And the ball will bounce. Buccaneers lead the Falcons 3-0, and hello, Kitty, to you. And it may not be nearly as cold here as it is around the country, but for Florida, this is a big chill. First down at the 36-yard line for Tampa Bay. 6:07 to go in the first. And here's Cadillac Williams. And it loses the ball. Fumble at the 41. And it was recovered by Jeremy Zuta, who was questionable as far as starting today with a sprained toe.
They're awfully glad he made the effort then, aren't they? Going in and diving on this fumble by Cadillac Williams. Nice hit. Coming up from the secondary, Thomas Deku, number 28, who's had a very nice season as a first-year starter, helped knock the ball free, and Zuta hopped on it alertly for the Buccaneers.
Buccaneers winning 2 games on the road at Seattle and New Orleans, trying to win their 2nd home game as Williams maybe stopped short of the first down. Mike Peterson, the weak side backer, a pickup of 3, and it'll be very close, maybe 1 yard shy.
And this is where the commitment to the running game for Tampa Bay really gets tested, because now you're in short yardage situation here, and this is exactly what you tell your offensive line. This is what you live for. 3rd and short. This is where we count on you. This is where we depend on you to go ahead and pick up this first down.
190.
Quarterback sneak by Freeman. He has the first down. Josh Freeman, who has engineered wins against a couple of tough teams this year, Green Bay and New Orleans. And huge. And carries with the power for the first down for the Bucs.
And this is something the Buccaneers have wanted to put into their playbook in recent weeks. Had it on their ready list, but didn't get the look they liked in short yardage situation to call the sneak previously. This time, offensive line does a nice job, and Freeman with his size gets the first down.
Two tight ends in there now. First down from the 46. Play action for Freeman, and Freeman not going to get away from Chauncey Davis. And the first sack of the game, Chauncey Davis playing again for Jamal Anderson, and a loss of 6.
Buccaneers, as you pointed out, with the two tight ends, tried to show a run look and then run a double move downfield with Antonio Bryant. But the reason that Josh Freeman unable to unload the football was Chauncey Davis in his face. He wanted to throw it. He was set. He had Antonio Bryant wanted to pull the trigger. But right in front of him was Jonathan Babineau, 95, with his hands up, and Davis with the sack.
Second down and 16. And in the slot going out as a receiver is Williams, and this pass is off the hands of Kellen Winslow. And it will bring up third down and long.
Watch Kellen Winslow, number 82, at the line of scrimmage. Runs the route on Curtis Lofton. Ball's just a little bit extended, and Winslow, in running his route, unable to come up with it.
Well, the Buccaneers, who have won 2 games, and Raheem Morris honestly said, is we just a hot team, or is this who we are? And that's why they feel they'll learn a lot in this game against Atlanta. 3rd and 16. Hand off to Williams. Cadillac Williams with running room. And a good tackle made by Shevis Jackson to prevent further gains. They'll end up about 9 yards short of the first down. And a punting situation. And coming on in is Sam Polescu.
And I think that call there exhibits how Raheem Morris, through his offense coordinator Greg Olson, feels about his defense and how well they've been playing in recent weeks. You don't have to worry about forcing it downfield in a bad situation. Punt it away, play field position.
Eric Weems. Going to let this thing bounce, and it will get into the end zone.
Buccaneers up 3 in the first quarter. Watch Brian Clark, the punt returner. Right now, he's looking this way. He really needs to look there and find the football. Because he doesn't find the football, watch where it hits. See, if he finds the ball and goes past Eric Weems, he has a chance to catch the ball inside the 10-yard line and really help out his defense. The Atlanta Falcons caught a break.
And the Falcons will start from the 20 in what has been a defensive-dominated game. Only 48 total yards for both teams. 27 by Atlanta. Here's Snelling with the carry. And without Michael Turner, Norwood and Snelling have done a terrific job. 3 yards on first down.
They are not Michael Turner. But what they like about Jason Snelling is that he has Michael Turner attributes. So we look at the total yards there. The key for Atlanta is that with Jason Snelling, you can use him as a 3-down back. He pass protects well, and he can catch it out of the backfield.
Justin Peele is the only tight end in there now for Atlanta on 2nd and 7. Snelling off tackle, and Tampa Bay drives him back. 1-yard pickup. Barrett Ruud, the middle linebacker, once again for the Bucs.
Biggest improvement we've seen from both teams' defenses in recent weeks, their ability to play against the run. Watch Tampa Bay's defensive line, able to surge forward, create cracks and gaps in the offensive front of Atlanta, and put Snelling down for a short game.
3rd down and 6. Protection this time. And going deep and knocking the ball away from Jenkins is Aqib Talib. Michael Jenkins, the target on a deep pass attempt, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Michael Jenkins' #1 attribute is not his speed, but he had Aqib Talib on his back. A terrific job by Talib locating the football and going up and playing it and knocking it away from Michael Jenkins. Because Jenkins couldn't run away from him, Talib able to match him almost stride for stride.
Second outstanding play by Talib. Michael Spurlock is back deep. 3rd punt of the day by Kanan, and a beauty. Taken out to 30. And brought down by Eric Weems. First down, Williams. Cadillac Williams bounces him out and being chased. Tell you what, a tough man. Owens finally knocks him out of bounds after several Falcons had an opportunity, and Carnell Williams gets 9.
This is what drives coaches crazy, the fundamentals of the game. Watch the big hit on Carnell Cadillac Williams. I believe it's Thomas Deku, but he does not wrap up on the tackle. Shoulder into Williams, bam, there it is. Instead of wrapping him up, he bumps him out and allows him to gain additional yardage.
Second down and 1. They go back to Cadillac Williams, and he's driven down by John Abraham. No gain on the play as we're winding down to the end of this first quarter. And it will be 3rd down and 1.
Watch the difference from John Abraham here. I just talked about not wrapping up. Look at what he does with his arms. There's the hit, brings the arms, and they go to the Cadillac Williams' legs. And that helps put him down. Well done by John Abraham, not just a pass rusher.
So Abraham goes out on 3rd down and about a yard. Here's Cadillac Williams. And Williams appears to have it in midfield just barely. And that will run out the first quarter here in Tampa. Start of the second quarter, Tampa Bay leads Atlanta 3-0. Dick Stockton, Charles Davis, and Laura Open. Look at those paltry numbers, especially the passing. 12-6. Hard to fathom. First down at midfield. Cadillac Williams can't bounce off a defender and go outside this time. Picks up a couple of yards.
He asked the question a little while ago, Dick, about the Buccaneers, Raheem Morris, wondering, are we just a hot team after the last 2 games, or is this who we really are? Well, offensively, they're trying to establish an identity going against this tough Falcons defense, which has really played well over the last few ball games. But their identity that they want to be able to run the football, win on 3rd down, and take some shots downfield when they get a chance.
So Atlanta not giving up a touchdown in the last 8 quarters. 2nd and 7, play action, but Freeman getting away from 3 defenders and throwing the ball, and a flag is down. Mike Peterson right in the middle of 3 defenders for Atlanta. It looked like it was going to be a certain sack, and he escaped.
Offense, number 70, 10-yard penalty.
And Kurt, you brought up Big Ben Roethlisberger. That's who Josh Freeman's being compared to by the backup quarterback here, Byron Leftwich, who played for a while in Pittsburgh.
2nd down and 17. Giving ground, and the pass unable to be held by Cadillac Williams. So it'll be 3rd and 17. And while both defenses have really taken center stage in this game, Charles, Atlanta really seemed to be putting the clamps on, down by only 3, and really outplaying Tampa Bay.
Their ability in recent weeks to stop teams from running the football has given them confidence all throughout their defense. Now everyone is playing well. If teams try and throw the ball, their coverage has really become good.
Thomas Deku, the free safety, has a groin injury. Probable that he'll be back. 3rd down and 17 for the Bucs. Pass to Williams. Cadillac Williams will be short of the first down by about 8 yards. And Stephen Nicholas, who's had a good year, outside linebacker for the Falcons, makes the play. A gain of 10. And Tampa Bay will have to punt again.
Look at this. This is Curtis Lofton, the middle linebacker. Look how deep he is at the start of the snap. What the Falcons are saying is go ahead and throw it underneath. We're going to rally to the football and make the tackle. We're not worried about field position as much as we want the football. Get off the field on 3rd down.
Good high kick by Pelescu. And the fair catch by Weems. Tony Gonzalez has been in and out of the lineup, mostly out. And he told Laura Oakman before the game that he's going to try to go with the calf injury. Justin Peele is the tight end in there now. First down at the 17. Matt Ryan completes the pass to Peele. And Justin Peele gets close to midfield. And the longest offensive play of the game, that good for 32 yards with Piscatelli defending.
So much for Justin Peele just being a blocking tight end. He's taken up for Tony Gonzalez, who's out of the lineup at the moment because the coverage is really good by Quincy Black. But look at the adjustment by Justin Peele turning back inside and avoiding Black and picking up a big first down.
And Gonzalez has come into the game. From the 49, Norwood. And Norwood is wrestled down by Barrett Ruud, picking up about 4 yards and getting into Buccaneer territory.
Barrett Ruud is just a tackling machine for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he's turned into more than that. He's now becoming their true quarterback on defense. He has the freedom now to make changes and checks on defense if he notices certain formations and tries to get him into a better defense.
Sugar huddle being run by the Falcons the last 2 plays. Quickly over to Roddy White, who's getting his hands on the ball for the first time today, and they're going to say White went out of bounds at the 40, and that'll be a first down for the Falcons, a pickup of 7.
Last time we saw Roddy White, he was working against Darrelle Revis, the terrific corner for the Jets. Now he's working against another very good corner, Aqib Talib, who bumped him and forced him out of bounds after the catch.
8 catches, 139 yards, and 2 scores for Roddy White last week against Buffalo. First down and in rhythm now. Pass caught by Jenkins. And Jenkins picking up about 6 or 7 yards on first down, defended by Elbert Mack, the nickelback.
And partner, you're on to something. You mentioned a couple plays ago, this sugar huddle, no huddle at the line of scrimmage. Sugar huddle means you huddle just a few yards behind the line of scrimmage and go. Here is no huddle right up on the line. They like their tempo.
Second down and 3. And movement, and it was Sam Baker, the left tackle.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So instead of second down and 3, it now moves to second down and 8, and a tenuous field goal position in this area as Mike Smith, who led his team to the playoffs in his first year as Falcons coach last year with 11 wins, looking for 9 and 7 this time.
And when you don't run no huddle all the time, when you do go to it, it's difficult for the offensive linemen sometimes because they're so keyed up and ready to go. They're not used to sitting back and waiting.
Marty Booker is the 3rd wide receiver, and the pitch going to Norwood. And Norwood had initial blocking from Tyson Clabo, and he is tackled at the 34 after picking up 4. Here's Rondé Barber, 34 years old, and other than Sims and Hovan, the 2 defensive tackles, and Barber, this is really a young team, and he wants to go on. I mean, he's ready to play corner again next year.
Yeah, he said, even though a lot of people say a 35-year-old starting corner in the NFL, we'll just evaluate in the offseason and see where we are.
13 brilliant seasons. 3rd down and 4. And the pass caught by Norwood, and his forward progress will be enough for the first down. He had to get to the 30-yard line.
Crowd's a little upset. He may have been the beneficiary of a pretty good spot. The tackle made on the spot by Barrett Ruud. Good catch by Norwood. Ruud in coverage, but the officials right on the play says that was the forward progress.
Barrett Ruud wondering about the spot of that ball, but it is a first down for the Falcons. This is the best threat of either team today. First down on the 30 of the Bucs. And the whistle. And Raheem Morris
might be challenging the spot. Challenge on the field from Tampa Bay is about the spot of the football. But you get the
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver had possession of the football beyond the line to gain. It will be first down Atlanta. Tampa Bay will be charged with its first timeout.
And it's interesting because Raheem Morris, as you pointed out during the timeout, had the best view of anyone.
Yeah, watch. Here's the catch. The ball is where the unofficial first down line is, but there's Raheem Morris. He's right there eyeing it. It's a big reason why he thought that he saw that the catch was made before the line. Where he was tackled was before the line, but the forward progress of the catch, no way you could overturn that one.
So each team has challenged and lost, and it will be a first down at the 30. Matt Ryan, 4 for 4 for 50 yards thus far in this drive. Snelling up the middle. And Snelling picks it up nearly 4 yards before Chris Hovan brings him down.
Jason Snelling coming into this year, Dick, had never had even a 50-yard game on the ground in terms of running the football. Now he's had 5 games of over 50 yards carrying the football. Because of the injury to Michael Turner, Jarius Norwood's been banged up a lot this year. He's gotten a lot more carries, a lot more time, and this coaching staff trusts him with the football.
What a valuable performer he's been, especially with Turner unable to go. 8th play of the drive. Second down and 7. Ryan looking to throw and overthrows Marty Booker. And maybe more than anything, the Vikings getting back to winning football is what they need more than anything.
Run the football with Adrian Peterson, throw it with Brett Favre.
Third down and 6, and Ryan is going to be sacked back at the 36-yard line. Gino Hayes has had a great first half, and Ronde Barber, who's made a history of this from cornerback, and a loss of 9.
This is reminiscent of what we saw the first time these two teams played in Atlanta. Is the Tampa Bay defense coming alive in key situations and putting pressure on the thrower. Gino Hayes gets to him, Ronde Barber with the pressure. Jarius Norwood trying to block as the running back really got brushed aside. Big play for the Buccaneers. They had 6 sacks in Atlanta.
And it's 4th down and 15, and here comes Ryan, and he completes it to Snelling. And getting away from Ronde Barber, but ultimately Aqib Talib is there to make the stop. So apparently not wanting to punt or try a field goal. Matt Bryant, courageous, who has a career long of 62 yards, season long of 51. That was last week, suffering a hamstring injury. And this is before the game. And last week he even punted against Buffalo. And everything was short.
Yeah, he hurt the hamstring punting last week against Buffalo.
So they've got some kicking issues, the Falcons, for sure. First down, play action for Freeman. And his pass is going to be wide of the intended target, Antonio Bryant.
The Atlanta Falcons have had a revolving door at cornerback all year long, trying to get it solidified. They may have their guys now. Brent Grimes in coverage here against Antonio Bryant. Watch him run at the hip inside. No place for the football to be put for Antonio Bryant to have a chance to catch it. And on the other side, the rookie Christopher Owens. They may be solidifying things for the Atlanta secondary.
Second down and 10. Thomas Deku, by the way, back in the lineup at free safety. Here's Bryant. And Bryant will be tackled about 3 yards shy of the first down by Grimes after gaining 7. So Chris Houston went out with a hamstring last week and now an injured reserve. Brian Williams, week 5, suffered a sprained knee. He started the opening game of the season for the Falcons, so they've had to go deep, and they've had the youngsters come up big in the secondary. They
even made a trade during the season for Ty Hill, a former first-round pick who started a couple of games. He's now on the bench.
Third down and 3 from the 37. Freeman trying to get it on a shallow cross to Bryant, who was covered well. And it was Croy Bierman who comes off the bench to put on big-time pressure, and he led the charge.
It almost looked like a jailbreak rush, didn't it? They end up rushing 6. Bierman puts the pressure on. Josh Freeman tries to get the ball off before the pressure gets there, but as you noted, Dick, Christopher Owens right in the hip pocket of the crossing receiver.
And there's Eric Weems counting to make sure there are 10 up front for the Falcons. Valescu punting. The fair catch at the 29. So there's Raheem Morris taking over the play calling on defense, and in the first 10 games allowing 29 points a game, only 17 in the last 5. That's a pretty good improvement of 12 points. Yeah?
So many times on offense you hear the expression that the team picks the quarterback by how they move the ball when that quarterback's in the game. How about on defense? This team has picked Raheem Morris as their coordinator and head coach.
First down from the 29, and a flea flicker. Ryan gets away from one defender, and this one is intercepted. A flag goes down. Rondé Barber with the pick. And Barber is shoved down by, let's see, the flag back at the 41-yard line. How about Ryan getting away from Tenard Jackson, ducking under and getting the ball off?
He probably should have stopped with the duck under, because throwing it late and deep down the field ran him into the interception.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 20. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
The good and the bad. Barber picked it up, but he held first, and it'll be a first down.
Look at the pressure right in the face of Matt Ryan. That's Tenard Jackson, the free safety, coming out of blitz. And then downfield, Rondé Barber. I saw a little hand fighting, but I there, but I didn't see a hold downfield. If it happened early in the route. It's the line of scrimmage. That's in the 5-yard zone. So they must have got him for having his hand on Michael Jenkins outside of the 5-yard zone.
In any event, it's a first down at the 34 for Atlanta, and the crowd. Boos cascade from this crowd, and the pass is caught by Tony Gonzalez. That's his first catch of the game, and he gets 9 yards out of it. So Gonzalez now needs 3 receptions to become the first tight end in history with 1,000 catches.
You go back to the play there with Rondé Barber. Seemed a little ticky-tackish downfield. Normally they let him hand fight a little bit more, play a little bit more. I didn't really see a hold.
I think a 13-year veteran may get a break.
Yeah, what happened to that 13-year privilege?
We saw what happened. Second down and 1. Here's Matt Ryan up the middle, and the pass is caught by Roddy White and tackled by Piscatelli. It'll be a first down at the 38 of Tampa Bay, good for 19 yards.
And how about this throw by Matt Ryan, the second-year quarterback? So many people talk about the struggles he's had as they hustle up to the line of scrimmage. This is a big league throw.
Remember last year, Ryan was the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, and there's catch by Roddy White. And White now at the 30-yard line, picking up 8 more.
Another good throw to the outside and a really nice catch by Roddy White, who was a Pro Bowler in 2008. Great job of catching with his hands and not letting the ball be jarred loose by his elbow hitting the ground.
Here's Norwood looking for running room. Head down and picks up the first down to the 26-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Jarius Norwood.
Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, continuing to tinker with the tempo of the offense that he wants to run here in the first half. We've seen the huddle, the sugar huddle, and the no huddle.
Sugar's working the best. Here's Norwood as a receiver and aggressively going right at the defensive player Geno Hayes. And he gets 9 yards on first down. We have under 5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Remember the roots of all those different huddles that we remember in the NFL as Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, dials up the next play. Sam Weish, the Cincinnati Bengals, the huddle, his attack huddle, which was right on the line of scrimmage, the sugar huddle, 3 yards behind.
Second down and 2. Matt Ryan's been hot since the first quarter. He's got Roddy White to the top of the left. And here's the pass, and it's behind Peel, the tight end, and defended by Tenard Jackson. That pass wasn't even close to the backup tight end. So it'll be 3rd and 2.
This defense also started to improve when Tenard Jackson came back from missing the first 4 games of the NFL season.
Closer than I thought.
I mean, that ball was played well by Tenard Jackson. I think Ryan was trying to throw it to the backside, hoping that Tenard Jackson couldn't respond.
3rd and 2. Ryan, incomplete for White. Barber on the coverage. And it looked like everyone was looking for a flag the way they got up from that play.
Watch. Right there with Savvy Piscatelli in coverage. He wants Tony Gonzalez in the flat, but Piscatelli does a really good job of covering it, even when Gonzalez converts the route and turns it upfield. On the other side, Aqib Talib has Michael Jenkins on lockdown. Matt Ryan has to throw the incompletion.
So here is Matt Bryant with a 36-yard try. And the kick is good. And you can see something like a screwball. It angled toward the right upright. But Matt Bryant now 6 for 8 in field goal tries, has tied the game for the Falcons. Buccaneers leading the NFL in kickoff returns. And of course Spurlock, who was the first ever Tampa Bay player in history to return a kickoff. That was against these Falcons. Back in 07, 90 yards for the touchdown.
See Rich Bisaccia, the special teams coach, assistant head coach. They put so much emphasis on special teams. The only people not eligible to play on special teams for the Bucs, quarterbacks.
Michael Kanan kicking off, and it's headed to Spurlock, but it'll be picked up at the 5. Nearly went out of bounds. And Spurlock is down at about the 12-yard line by Spencer Atkins. First down from the 12. Williams. And he gets a couple of yards on first down. That was the 13th carry of the game for Williams, who was average about 2.5 yards per carry.
And the Buccaneers, of course, would love to see that number go up, but they feel like that number will go up as the game progresses. You keep running the football, a true commitment to running it. Game at 3-3, no reason to get away from it.
2nd and 8. And again they go to Williams, trapped and down at the 11. A loss of 3, and that was Jonathan Babineau with Chauncey Davis collapsing in on Cadillac Williams. Atlanta leading the total yardage battle. 3rd down and 11 following the timeout by the Falcons. Looking to get their hands on the ball. Freeman goes short to Chris Presley, the rookie fullback, and he's set down immediately by Stephen Nicholas for a gain of 1, so it's 4th down. And a timeout again called by the Falcons. That's their 3rd and last timeout.
What's coming up down the road?
Paulescu hunting from the goal line. Eric Weems, fair catch. And the Falcons will have good field position right here. And the way the game is going, Tampa Bay is playing very well for a team that has won only 3 games. But you know that Atlanta is starting to get it revved up offensively, it appears.
Yeah, it certainly did, because they changed the tempo of what they were doing for the 2nd time this game. Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator, went to the no huddle, some of that sugar huddle, which is right behind the line of scrimmage so you can get up to the line of scrimmage and attack. And upping the tempo seemed to help them a little bit and allowed Matt Ryan a couple of times to actually push the ball downfield with his passes. What I've seen today from both sides, the rush has been so good that both quarterbacks have had to resort to the check down a little bit more than I think they want to.
And for Atlanta, they don't have really Tony Gonzalez as they normally do in the flow. So they have to ad-lib a little bit with their plan. First down from the 47. Ryan's pass caught by Gonzalez gets a few extra yards and enough for the first down. Does not get out of bounds as he reaches the 41. Black on the tackle. A gain of 12.
He came into the game with a calf injury. We talked about that. Laura Oakman talked to him in pregame. Hey, and he said, I'm going to go. I love to play football. On that play, it appeared that the calf held up pretty well because of the cut he had to make to work back inside and pick up the first down.
I want to say that Atlanta has out of timeouts. First down at the 41. Three-man rush up front for Tampa Bay. 8 men back and going underneath to Snelling. And Snelling finally brought down by Aqib Talib after Quincy Black slowed him down, a pickup of 8 yards. And we're getting close to the 2-minute warning.
Look at Matt Ryan's eyes as he surveys the field, goes through his progressions and reads, comes to the check down to Snelling underneath.
And Roddy White makes the catch, and the Falcons just get the play off before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. First down for the Falcons on the Bucs 23. No timeouts left for Atlanta.
Tony Gonzalez on the backside of the formation.
Ryan has time, and the catch is made by Gonzalez, and he has it inside the 15, getting 9 yards. And stopping the clock in the process.
Normal tight end, you might consider him covered. He had 2 Bucs in the vicinity. But when you're talking about a future Hall of Famer and Tony Gonzalez, you take your chances and put the ball out there and give him a chance to go get it.
Now they're close enough now where the clock is not a big factor, even with no timeouts left. Boy, what a play made with Geno Hayes and Aqib Talib all over him. Second down and 1. Here's Snelling. And Snelling with a first down. Snelling has the first down. Rude making the tackle, picking up 2 yards. There's the value of Jason Snelling and what he has meant just on that play.
Averaging a first down about every 4 touches of the football this year is Jason Snelling. That'll gain you the trust of a coaching staff and a team in a hurry. And you notice with the clock ticking down, you mentioned out of timeouts, but where they are on the line, on the field of play, they don't have to go as fast as if they had the ball deeper. 2
tight ends and Roddy White, who's in the slot to the right. First down, and here's the pass, and it was intended for Gonzalez, and an interference call on Sabi Piscatelli. I'm surprised they only had 1 defender on Gonzalez.
Well,
that close to the goal line.
Well, they were able to isolate him a little bit by formation because they got Tony Gonzalez out wide.
Defense, number 21. The foul occurred in the end zone. By rule, the ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down, Atlanta.
It's a really nice call by Mike Mularkey because he was able to use his formation to get Tony Gonzalez a favorable matchup against a defensive back.
Boy, he sure did, because everyone in the stadium would know that this is Gonzalez territory. So it's first and goal at the 1 for the Falcons. Looking for the first touchdown of the game. Snelling is not going to get it. Stop for no gain. And Adam Hayward, one of the reserve linebackers, came up big on that play. Under a minute remaining. Remember, no timeouts for Atlanta.
The clock continues to tick, but again, Atlanta not in a super hurry. They feel like they've got enough time if they need to spike the ball in order to get a field goal if it gets that far.
They go to Snelling again, and once again stopped. And a big play made that time by Roy Miller, the rookie from Texas. And on the field is Styles White shaken up, and the clock continues to run.
And did you notice Rondé Barber made sure he got him up because they didn't want the clock to stop.
Third and goal from the 2. Clock is a factor. 5 seconds to go, and here's the pass, and it's caught by Peel for the touchdown. Justin Peel on the grab, and the Atlanta Falcons finally push it over, and it looked tenuous at first.
And they essentially made third down all or nothing because of the way the clock was ticking. If that's an incomplete pass, the half ends, and the Atlanta Falcons get nothing out of it, not even a shot at the field goal.
So now Matt Bryant on for the extra point. Time has run out in the first half, and Bryant's extra point is good, and so the touchdown as time runs out gives Atlanta the lead.
Watch Peel right there. He's going to come through the wash, and Matt Ryan finds him underneath as the clock goes down to zeros. Touchdown, Atlanta Falcons.
As the Bucs return the second half kick, Spurlock. And Spurlock gets out to the 26-yard line. Cadillac Williams. No gain on the play on first down. Chris Owens coming up from the cornerback position.
How about the corners of the Falcons? We talked a little bit in the first half about it, Dick, that they've had that revolving door at the cornerback position. But Brent Grimes and Christopher Owens, one thing I've noticed about the two of them today, not only will they cover you, they'll hit you. Look, Christopher Owens coming up in run support. The complete cornerback making a resurgence in the NFL.
Second down and 10. Stovall to the right, and this pass, and that was, it actually hit Owens, intended for Antonio Bryant. And that'll be third down and 10 coming up. But even though it's 10-3, obviously a close game, defensive game, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing spirited football and hanging in there. And remember, it was the second half that got it done against New Orleans last week.
Hey, what up, 5-2, 5-2. Press. 190.
Third down and 10. Good protection, and this is through the hands of Cadillac Williams. He had Nicholas on him. And from first glance, it looked like a catchable ball for Carnell Williams. Fourth down, and the Bucs will have to kick.
Back-to-back slant-type routes. And that ball's thrown pretty well, but Stephen Nicholas doing a nice job in coverage, and it could be argued he might have been there just a touch too soon with his hand on Cadillac Williams.
Yeah, I agree. And not the easiest catch, and Williams is going to see this bounce out of bounds. Rondé Barber, this is what you do at the end of the season. Joke with the official.
He's still going back to the first half, saying, what do you mean hold?
Yeah. How about this?
Call that holding on?
How about this push, official? First and 10 at the 32. Ryan's pass, Roddy White. And he makes the grab at the 41, picks up about, well, close to 9 yards.
Tampa Bay sideline thinks he was juggling it going across the sideline, didn't have complete control, but Raheem Morris, the head coach, not going to win that argument. Goes right back to his play sheet as the defensive coordinator.
Second and 1.
See, juggling as he goes across the sideline, but it looks like he had it enough possession as he crossed.
Quarterback stream, second and 1. They run it with Norwood. And Jarius Norwood, very close. Quincy Black on the tackle. Opening minutes of the third quarter. So Matt Ryan talking about the distribution for his 17 completions. There you see the wide receivers have caught 6, tight ends 5, and he has really spread it out well.
I think when you look at it and you put the tight ends and the running backs together with 11 catches, now you're seeing the pressure that both of these quarterbacks have faced during this game that have forced them to check it down to their running backs and underneath to their tight ends more than maybe they wanted.
Third down and 1, and they hand off to the fullback Obi Mahaley, and the flag is down, and Mahaley may have the first down pending the call.
There is no foul for an illegal formation as number 74 was declared eligible on the play. Therefore, there is no foul. First down, Atlanta.
Will Svitek was the tight end lined up.
That's Svitek there, but he's reported in as eligible, coming in to help block him a little bit more muscle.
And the forward progress for the first down by Mahaley.
How happy was Mahaley? That's just his third carry of the season.
Norwood. Norwood crosses the 45. Rude is there. They'll probably place it at the 45, a pickup of 3. So Ryan, who was throwing lately. Now they're lining up, no huddle once again, keeping the ball on the ground early in the third.
Look out! Here we go. 105!
Plenty of time on the play clock. Second and 7, and they run it again with Norwood up the middle. And Norwood was slowed down by Barrett Rude. And they'll be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down after a 5-yard pickup by Jarius Norwood.
How about the chess match there? Matt Ryan checking, maybe some dummy checks. But on the opposite side, his counterpart, Barrett Rude, number 51, the middle linebacker, was doing the exact same thing, trying to match wits with Matt Ryan on that call.
So now it's 3rd and 2. And they got the first down. Peel is put down by Rude, but the 4-yard gain will give the Falcons a first down into Buccaneer territory to the 45. Justin Peel, who made the 2-yard grab just barely in the final play of the second quarter to give the Falcons their touchdown lead.
And this no huddle starting to accomplish a couple of things. Styles White has to come out of the game for a breather, had to substitute for him after rushing the passer.
Ryan intercepted by Tanar Jackson. How about that for a rally breaker? Tanar Jackson with the interception and the second turnover of the game by the Falcons. Tanar Jackson with an interception on the last play and a forced fumble today, and Jackson now tied with Aqib Talib with 5 picks on the year, and that was number 13 thrown by Matt Ryan. So Tampa Bay has it in good field position. See if they can take advantage on their 47. Josh Freeman under pressure and trying to get it to Carnell Williams, to no avail.
Watch this, look at Tanar Jackson. Now watch what Matt Ryan does when he goes back in the pocket. He tries to move him by looking that way. Tanar Jackson takes just a small cheat step but doesn't really move off of the spot. See, Matt Ryan thinks he's moved him with his eyes and his head, and then he comes back to his primary receiver. But Tanar Jackson doesn't buy it, and he makes the interception.
And Huggs on the sideline. Meanwhile, 2nd and 10. Williams. Cadillac Williams with a tough run with Mike Peterson riding herd. And he gets 6 yards on that play, so it'll be 3rd and 4.
That's one of the better runs I've seen this year in that type of a situation. 2nd and 10, the Buccaneers stay with the running game, decide not to throw it, and he picks up 6. And how important is that? 3rd and manageable. You get to 3rd and 4 instead of 3rd and long because of that run.
Williams, 15 carries, 32 yards. And only 33 yards rushing today for the Bucs.
Time to start finding Kellen Winslow.
Here they come. Pressure on Freeman, and pass intended for Bryant, and no flag down, and a great job by Brent Grimes. You talked about these corners and what a cover job they've done.
And a nice job by Grimes. Most people are going to say, hey, he doesn't get his head around, should be a penalty. But he's starting to get his head around, and what he did was read Antonio Bryant's eyes and his hands. When they came up for the ball, he put his hands in between them and knocked it away.
So there were hugs a few moments ago on the Bucs sideline. High fives for the Falcons. And Valescu is kicking again to Weems. He's going to let it bounce, and it's going to be downed by Tampa Bay at the 2-yard line. And the Falcons can certainly use that guy, Michael Turner, who had 871 yards, 10 touchdowns this season. Falcons have 46 rushing yards on the ground. They start from their own 2. First back through is Obi Mihaly, and he takes it out beyond the 5-yard line and gets 4.
Real tendency breaker there by Mike Mularkey. That's just Mihaly's 4th carry of the season. And also, they don't want to hand the ball to the deep back there, anticipating Tampa Bay bringing pressure and trying to get a safety in the end zone.
Tampa Bay, not much yardage, only 3 points, and that came off the turnover on the field goal early on. Second down and 6. Here's Snelling. Snelling will get the first down and continues to make the hard runs, and gain of 7 yards. Denard Jackson had a shot at him, but a lot of guys have had a shot at Jason Snelling this year.
And look at the help he gets from his offensive line that's been retooled a little bit. Starting guard Harvey Dahl is out. Sam Baker's been playing hurt most of the season. Quinn Ojanaka in for Harvey Dahl at guard, number 76. Does a nice job clearing a path.
Get out of big time trouble on that run. First down at the 13. Ryan again goes to Snelling. And Snelling goes outside and picks up yardage down the sideline. 8 more yards before Roy Miller knocks him away. But the Buccaneers had several shots again on him.
Dick, this is a big league run by a guy who's not mentioned at all with any of the elite running backs. And it's understandable. He doesn't have the skins on the wall. But how about it? Shrugging off tackles, using his vision to get to the outside, and traversing up the sideline and picking up nice yardage.
Second down and 2. Again to Snelling. And leans forward and may have a first down. You know, it's amazing. A lot of the teams like Indianapolis, you know, not playing their best people. And here the Patriots going at it as they did a few years ago against the Giants when they were undefeated.
Yes, and understand Wes Welker, though, their wide receiver, out with a knee injury at the moment.
That's not good news. Here's Snelling on the pitch. And Snelling is brought down by Barrett Ruud after a 4-yard gain. Now, Texans needed help today. Patriots trying to improve their seeding. Steelers, Dolphins, they would get a win but would need help. And how about the Browns leading the Jaguars 20-3? Could be their 4th straight win. Now the Ravens and the Jets, who control their destiny, play later and tonight.
And if both of them win, they're in, everyone else is out. That's what you're talking about, all the help needed by everyone else.
Second down and 6 from the 27. Snelling. He crosses the 30 and inches closer to the first down. 4-yard pickup. Geno Hayes making the tackle.
Last week in overtime, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the toss and ran the ball 11 times and kicked the game-winning field goal. Never threw a pass. They're getting a taste of their own medicine on this drive thus far by the Atlanta Falcons. Look at it. 6 rushes, no passes. Jason Snelling doing the bulk of the work.
Now it's 3rd down and 2. Snelling getting a little breather, well-deserved. And he has carried in the last 5 plays, so Norwood is in. Here comes the pressure. Untouched, but the pass caught by Norwood, and it'll be another first down to the 39-yard line. This time it was Style White who missed, and an 8-yard pickup keeps it going for the Falcons, who, remember, started from their own 2.
And this is an example of an offensive coordinator understanding his personnel. He's got Jarius Norwood in the game now. Jason Snelling, much more of a tackle-to-tackle runner. Where do you want Jarius Norwood with his speed? Out in space. They get him out into the flat, get the ball to him, try to turn it upfield.
Atlanta has almost a 10-minute edge in time of possession in this game. First down, and here are the defenders, and Roddy White could not hold on to that flip. And pointing to himself, you think he said, "My bad"?
That's always the universal signal for "my bad." Even if he didn't say it, just by pointing to himself, he said "my bad" in NFL sign language. Roddy White was a Pro Bowler last year. Little miffed that he didn't get the nod to go this year. Wanted to put on a show today. There's another guy, Tony Gonzalez, did not go to the Pro Bowl. What a stacked deck in the NFC.
Gonzalez still 1 catch away from 1,000 career receptions. Here's a handoff to Norwood, and Buccaneers do a good job there thanks to Geno Hayes. Hayes has played outstanding. Well, all the linebackers for Tampa Bay are keepers, and they're all pretty young.
And with the switch back to more of the Tampa 2 style, and remember, every snap is not a Tampa 2 defense anymore. But with more of that style, Geno Hayes and Quincy Black, the young outside linebackers, have really flourished.
So now it's 3rd and 8 for Matt Ryan and company.
I think Rowdy White would like an opportunity to make up for the last drop. And this is White here.
And Booker lines up to the top. And going deep for Jenkins, makes the catch. So it was Michael Jenkins on the deep play and a 30-yard pass play with Elbert the nickelback covering and a first down to the 29.
Do you remember earlier in the game when Michael Jenkins ran a similar route against Aqib Talib and Talib was able to catch up and knock it away? Not so for Elbert Mack, and this ball could not have been thrown any better to Michael Jenkins from Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan says that despite the fact that he's thrown more picks this year, thinks his decision-making learned so much more in this second year. Handoff to Snelling back in there, and here's Snelling! And he may have a first down. Let's see where they mark it. Obi Mahaley setting the block, and we'll call it about 9.5.
Watch the blocking by the line. Look at the left side. And watch the gap they create. They double team Hovan. There's a kick block on Savvy Piscatelli right in there. And there's the space for Jason Snelling. Look at that, Sam Baker 72, one of the guys leading. But you also had Blaylock 63, Ojanaka 76. Great job up front.
And let's call it 10 and a first down.
Make it an even 10, right? Why not?
Why not? First down on the 19 now of the Bucs. On the slant, Jenkins does a good job of holding on against Aqib Talib and picks up a couple of yards. No scoring here in this third quarter. The Bucs took the lead early as the fumbled kickoff resulted in a field goal. And this quarter, Tampa Bay has managed only 6 yards. Of course, they've not had the ball that much either. Only 6 plays. But, you know, still, you're talking about averaging a yard a play. This is the 20th play of this quarter coming up for Atlanta. Against a fatigued defense, second down and 8. Ryan up the middle and intended for Gonzalez. A little bit beyond his reach. Third down and 8.
A better match in the secondary that time for Tampa. Remember in the first half when they tried to hit Tony Gonzalez and Savvy Piscatelli was covering him for Tampa and ended up with a pass interference call? Aqib Talib versus Tony Gonzalez, a better matchup man-to-man for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And this has always been Gonzalez territory this year. Third down and 8. And a flag is down.
Full start. Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, third down.
Ojanaka, the right guard. That's the last thing Mike Smith needs.
Just his 5th start this season, Quinn Ojanaka stepping in for the normal starter Harvey Dahl, who is an absolute hammer in the run game. But today, this Falcons offensive line has accepted the challenge, especially in the third quarter, and they've become hammers in the run game.
Ryan's third down number, 6 of 9, plus a touchdown. Third down and 13. Ryan. Knocked away. Jenkins defended by Aqib Talib. And Jenkins, and you know what? I think he said to Aqib Talib, nice job on that.
And Aqib Talib told him, why would you want to try me out here? Again, a much better matchup for the Buccaneers. Talib rapidly becoming one of the elite corners in the league, becoming a guy that you got to know where he is and possibly not try him in certain situations.
So Matt Bryant is on to try the field goal from 40 yards out. Connected from 36 earlier. And this kick, not even close. It was blocked by the Buccaneers.
Right here, this is where Corey Lynch wants to come and affect the block. And they get the wing to widen out. And they do exactly that. Corey Lynch runs tight and gets the block, the 6th one of the year, which leads the NFL.
And that's punts and kicks. So a first down at the 30. Josh Freeman and the Buccaneers, and this pass caught. Good catch by Winslow and a first down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 11 yards. So here are and they're congratulating Lynch. What a job he did in both Atlanta games this year.
Great pass protection for Josh Freeman. Gave him time to find Kellen Winslow underneath.
First down at the 41. Williams, and he can't get to the line of scrimmage, will lose 2 yards, and Jonathan Babineau was right there. 1:45 to go in the third.
Watch the middle. Watch Jonathan Babineau, number 95, with the penetration. Gets a great push against Jeremy Trueblood and leaks right on through into the backfield and chases down Cadillac Williams. Babineau, their most consistent defensive lineman this season.
Second down and 12. So a tackle leads the team in sacks. You don't often see that. Here's Freeman. Runs into his own man, and official blocks for him, and his pass is caught by Jeremy Stevens in a first down. He had to contend with his own teammate. He had to contend with an official and gets 14 yards and a first down to the 47 of Atlanta.
And look at this. This is not Canadian football. You aren't supposed to get a 12th man blocking, but that's exactly what Josh Freeman got, and he got it from Tony Mahalik, the umpire, who was trying to get out of the way, but that bought Josh Freeman some extra time to find Jeremy Stevens downfield.
He may get a game ball. First down. Here's Williams. And Cadillac Williams is tripped up by Trey Lewis. And that may be the last play of the third quarter. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are like a fighter who have been getting hit, bouncing off the ropes, but hanging in. Let's hear this. Start of the fourth quarter, and there's the great officiating crew. And I want to make a comment about officials in a second, as Cadillac Williams moves within 1.5 yards of a first down. This is of course, last year, and of course we still have the playoffs in the Super Bowl, but the last regular season game. And for Mike Pereira, who is retiring as the vice president of officiating, in charge of these guys, we will miss Mike Pereira. He has been accessible to all of us. Anytime we had a question to call him, he's kind of made it fun in the dry world of officiating. A very friendly guy, and we will miss Mike Pereira. Best to him. He is retiring. Third down and 2 on the 39 of the Falcons. Here's Freeman. Flips it. Cadillac Williams has the first down inside the 35. Coy Wire defending, and 7 yards on the play.
And if you go back to the play Josh Freeman made to find Jeremy Stevens, and Tony Mahalik, the umpire, inadvertently got in the way and offered an extra block for Freeman, it's energized this crowd. If you notice, the crowd's gotten into it. They're back with the team, and it's also energized the offense since that play.
And they're not used to the chilly climb here. On a cold day in the 40s, first down. Here's Cadillac Williams again. He's wrestled from behind by Eric Coleman. So once again, this Tampa Bay team, they haven't gone down for the count yet. They're just hanging in there, behind on points, obviously, at this time, but within one punch of getting back into it.
And they threw one of those punches with the blocked field goal, with Corey Lynch stopping the long drive by Atlanta, where they had come off of the shadow of their goal line and driven it down the field.
Atlanta had the ball, Charles, for 7.5 minutes, 76 yards. Came up empty. Second down and 8. Freeman. Pass is caught. And it's Stovall. And they'll move him out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Maurice Stovall making his 7th start with a big 27-yard gain, and it'll be first and goal.
Okay, it's too deep coverage, all right? So the ball has to be thrown in that hole right there between the corner and the safety. And look at what Josh Freeman does. That is an absolute laser shot, to put that between the corner and the safety, with neither one of them having an opportunity to react and break on the football.
And you're absolutely right. Crowd has been in this game. First and goal at the 4. And Freeman still on his feet and will lose yards there. As when he got tripped up, and it looked like it was his center, Jeff Fain, got the feet tangled. A loss of 3.
He had the good presence of mind to understand he's not in college, so the play's not over when he hits the ground until he's touched. But the second thing they teach as a quarterback, if you miss the handoff, go where the play was supposed to go. Go where the hole's supposed to be. That running play appeared to go to the right. He broke back to the left.
And it might have been Jeremy Zuda that he got tangled up with. In any event, it'll be second and goal. The ball back at the 8. Buccaneers need a touchdown and an extra point to tie. Freeman. Good coverage downfield. And they do not run the flag as Winslow was defended by Chris Owens, who had his back to the line of scrimmage.
Watch Kellen Winslow, number 82, working inside. Now he works back to the outside, and Christopher Owens sinks back from the corner position, and he's got his hand on him in the end zone, well beyond the 5-yard zone. I totally understand why Kellen Winslow's looking for a flag.
And he was not playing the ball, which usually is a sign that that would be a pass interference call. And the crowd vehemently shows its displeasure, and you really can't blame them. So it'll be third down and goal after the no call.
Winslow isolated on the backside of the formation. Here he is out wide. Give him a chance.
Pump fake and the pass. Caught. Touchdown, Antonio Bryant. Chris Owens was defending him and wouldn't let him get up after the catch.
And this is just a really nice job by Antonio Bryant fighting for the football. The coverage was fine. The throw was a little bit behind him and brought the corner into the play, and Antonio Bryant just went and made sure he secured the football and didn't let the defender have it.
So a big extra point coming up for Connor Barth, and that is the 4th touchdown catch of the year for Antonio Bryant and his 30th career touchdown catch. It is 10-9, and Connor Barth ties the score. And the scoring drive to tie the game for the Buccaneers, as Josh Freeman threw for only 31 yards before the 66 on the scoring drive, and we're tied at 10-10. And in the first meeting in Atlanta this year, Freeman found Bryant with a 42-yard touchdown. So he's been a favorite target against this team. Barth kicking off to Weems on the run from the 10. Weems brings it out to the 30. And the Buccaneer fans in the full voice here as Tampa Bay trying to win 3 in a row to close the season and set up next year. And the Falcons trying to win, get back-to-back winning years for the first time in their franchise. Snelling on first down from the 30, picks up a couple. Tim Crowder making the stop. We're early in the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton along with Charles Davis and Laura Oakman down on the field. We're tied 10-10 as finally the Bucs came out of their shell offensively.
Started to make their move, energized by the block kick. A big play from Josh Freeman in the pass game where he scrambled out of the pocket and found Jeremy Stevens. Just enough running and the payoff at the end.
Gonzalez shifts to the slot on 2nd and 8. And the pass caught by Jenkins. He'll be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. So it'll be 3rd and short for the Falcons. Bernard Jackson with a huge interception, as the Falcons have turned the ball over twice today.
Bernard Jackson's just a difference maker from his free safety position.
with his 33rd pass attempt, and it's picked off by Piscatelli. Xavi Piscatelli, flag is down on the far sideline at the 35. It was intended for Gonzalez.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 25 of the intercepting team. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed. First down, Tampa Bay, timeout.
So Matt Ryan with his second interception of the day, and Xavi Piscatelli, and the penalty, there's the interception.
Well done by Piscatelli, running at the hip of Gonzalez, ball thrown inside. He makes a play on it.
But a bad penalty on Aqib Talib instead of being in Atlanta territory. Bucs on their own 45 to start this series. Play action for Josh Freeman on first down. He drills it, and it's picked off. Interception by Chris Owens. So a pair of number 21s on back-to-back interceptions. And the Falcons get it back, and they get it back in Tampa Bay territory.
See, this call is designed to be a big shot downfield. They're trying to take advantage of it on 1st and 10, and they get a crossing route. And look at all the white shirts in the area. They had them outnumbered at least 3-2 when Josh Freeman makes that throw. That's a throw the young quarterback has to learn not to make. In that position, when you see too much white and your team's wearing red, eat the football. Live to fight another down. Yeah, nice play by Christopher Owens.
Even if they have red numbers, it's the red shirt that counts.
Yeah, it's more the boldness of pattern.
Second interception of the year for Owens, the rookie. First down, and here's Snelling with the carry. And Snelling drives his way inside the 40 for about a 5-yard pick.
Right here, Josh Freeman trying to step up, gets a little pressure from the backside as he makes the throw. Frankly, I don't think the pressure is the problem on this play, though. I don't think he even sensed the pressure was there, but the pressure helped force the throw not to be accurate. Nice job by Babineau, number 95.
First turnover committed by the Bucs. It'll be 2nd and 5. Snelling spinning his way. First down. Still turning. Jason Snelling inside the 20-yard line. With a brilliant run, and finally it takes Ronde Barber to bring him down. And that wasn't even that easy. And it'll be a first down, a huge gain of 24 yards.
Jason Snelling may not be the most valuable player for the Atlanta Falcons, but he may be the MOP, most opportunistic player. He's gotten an opportunity to play because of the injury to Michael Turner, because of the injuries to Jarius Norwood, and he has more than made the most of it. 16 carries, 79 yards for Snelling, a first down at the 16, and they go to Snelling again. And he's tireless for sure. After that, didn't get a breather as he works his way to the 14, picking up 2 yards. Dick, when you come into the season and you've never had a 50-yard running game in your career, there's no way you're going to the sideline for oxygen unless they force you to. You're going to stay out there and get as many carries and as many yards as you can. And Jason Snelling having a very productive day.
Third year from the University of Virginia, and Michael Turner watching on the sideline, and the 83 yards, a career high for Snelling. 2nd down and 8, Snelling again. And this time he is slowed down somewhat by Geno Hayes and gets 2 more yards.
I know Matt Ryan has thrown a couple of interceptions in this game, but I still feel like Mike Mularkey and his staff will trust him with the football. I don't think you play for a field goal here with a little more than 7.5 to go. If you're the Falcons, you got to take a shot here to try and get the ball in the end zone.
Remember, they blocked the field goal the last time from close in. 3rd down and 6. Norwood giving Snelling a breather. Not going that way, and the pass is caught by Roddy White. Touchdown, Atlanta. As the Buccaneers were gambling, Aqib Talib looking for the pick. He gambled and lost, and White burned him.
Tries to undercut the throw, and he doesn't get it. And look at Roddy White on the tightrope. Watch, stays in, and look at the official all over the call, watching it all the way through. Watching the positioning of the side official. See, he's got his eyeballs on it, follows the play. Roddy White does not step out of bounds.
12-yard touchdown run, and the extra point by Matt Bryant. 17-10, the Falcons in front. And the 5-play, 44-yard scoring drive, and Snelling with 4 rushes and 32 yards. 22 yards was his longest rush, and this is a career rushing game for Snelling. Spurlock is back deep with 7:18 on the clock. So the Buccaneers were down 10-3, came back to tie it up. And just as quickly, the Falcons untied it, and it started with the interception. 44-7 the score in a rout for the Minnesota Vikings in the season finale in the regular campaign. First down from the 20. 7-point deficit for Josh Freeman, and the pass to Carnell Williams, and Williams gets the first down. A big play by Williams as he gets to the 36-yard line and gets 17 for the first down.
Not only has it been a remarkable story of Cadillac Williams coming back from 2 torn patellar tendons in his knees, but how about the increase in productivity of him in the passing game, becoming a pass receiver that's dependable. Before, he'd just been a runner. Steve Logan, the running backs coach, gets a lot of credit for that.
And you know, Charles, he has been on every snap today. Derek Ward out with a sore knee and a quads. So Cadillac Williams has played every down from scrimmage. First down on the 37. Here's Freeman, gets time now. Caught. Kellen Winslow into Atlanta territory to the 45, 18 more yards.
What you have to admire about the 2 quarterbacks we've seen today, their resilience. They make a mistake, they come right back and go on and play. If you ask Josh Freeman about what happened against Carolina, where he threw 5 interceptions a few weeks ago, he just simply responds, each game is its own game. I don't worry about what happened before. I'm not worried about the future. I'm just worried about right now, this play.
And really, for everyone who watches the game, all that really matters is right now. First down at the 45. Trying to come back in a 7-point deficit. Pass is caught by John Gilmore. His first catch of the game, and a 9-yard gain. And an injured Buccaneer back at the 43-yard line. And in definite pain is Donald Penn, the left tackle.
That's Josh Freeman's blindside protector, the left tackle. Donald Penn, who I know got some Pro Bowl mention. This guy takes on a lot of great pass rushers in the NFC South. Coming into today, had only given up 2 sacks all season. There he is, where it gets Croy Bierman, one of the designated pass rushers, gets his hand up in there. It looks like his leg got bent underneath him at the end of the play.
And finally being helped up, and now will walk off on his own power. So Donald Penn goes out of the game, and Sean Murphy, who was signed in week 7. This is his first NFL game, and the son of Dale Murphy, the former great slugger for the Atlanta Braves, who hit very nearly 400 career home runs for Atlanta. And Sean Murphy,
he'll come in at guard,
yes,
and kick Jeremy Zuta, who'd been playing guard, out to left tackle. That's why they cross-train so many linemen. You only usually suit up 7. Guys have to play multiple positions.
Second down and 1 on the 36. Throwing it away with big-time pressure was Josh Freeman. Well, the offense all of a sudden has started out spearheaded by the defense. We had 13 points in the first 3+ quarters of this game, and then in that span of 2.5 minutes, 14 points. And of course, it was the interceptions that started the way. This is the score by quarters. with 5:08 remaining in the fourth. 3rd down and 1 coming up. And it was Owens who made the interception for that Piscatelli. Freeman with the quarterback sneak appears to have the 1st down.
Second time today they've used Josh Freeman's 6'6", 250-pound frame to try and pick up the 1st down on a sneak. The only suggestion I'd have for him, just a tad lower. Get behind those big offensive linemen. At 6'6", you've got to have some momentum.
1st down, play action. Going deep for Bryant, and the pass is intercepted by Brent Grimes. And a flag is down at the 42-yard line. So Cadillac Williams holding, and Grimes, like Owens, has had a great finish to the season.
This is just textbook. Watch how he stays inside on Bryant, sees him, now he's going to run at the hip. Now watch him pin him towards the sideline. If that ball is not thrown to the outside, this is the result. Antonio Bryant has no chance to get to the football through the body of Brent Grimes because the ball is thrown so far inside. For Bryant to have a chance, has to be high into the outside. Could not have been better coverage by Brent Grimes, an undrafted free agent from Shippensburg.
Out of Pennsylvania, that's the 4th interception in the last 3 games for Grimes, who has 6 on the year to lead his team. So a 1st down for the Falcons on the 20. Here's Jason Snelling, and right now Atlanta wants to use up some time. 2nd down and 9. Snelling with a 1st down. As he rode Piscatelli for good yardage, gets 11 yards in all. So Snelling with a career game, and a timeout called by Tampa Bay, their first. 80 yards rushing in the 2nd half by Snelling.
Now this offensive line led by Todd McClure, the center, number 62. Today, his 128th consecutive start as the man in the middle. And this line has been rebuilt a little bit due to injuries. You got Quinn Ojanaka starting at guard now, Justin Blaylock. They lost Harvey Dahl, one of their hammers in the running game. But today, you wouldn't know it, the way this offensive line is played.
We get a report on Donald Penn, the injured left tackle. He has a knee problem and questionable as to whether he'll be back. It'll be 1st down at the 33, career high 98 yards for Jason Snelling. And Snelling with a chance to go over 100, does with ease. Another 1st down. Jason Snelling, the offensive star of this game for the Falcons. And once again, Ovi Mihaly with a key block, and 33 or 32 yards rushing on the last 2 plays.
And Ovi Mihaly, you don't go anywhere without this guy leading at the point of attack. Watch him as he bends back. There's the block there. And we've given a lot of love to the offensive line, but in the Atlanta Falcons system, they use the fullback for a reason. He's the lead blocker to clear the way for the running backs. Ovi Mihaly does it as well as anyone in the league.
And the 2nd timeout called by the Bucs, and as you said at the very top of this telecast, why are the Falcons finding their way at the end of the year with the 2 wins, running the ball and stopping the run? And they have done that beautifully today in the first career 100-yard game for Jason Snelling.
So today they have 155 yards running it, and the Buccaneers have 38 yards running it.
1st down at the 46. Snelling again, why not? They keep feeding him, and it was Geno Hayes grabbing a hold of his shoe top, but a 5-yard pickup. And Tampa Bay has only 1 timeout left, 3 minutes to go in the 4th.
As I'm watching Jason Snelling run here today, I'm reminded of something that I heard this year during the college football season. Toby Gerhart, the great running back out at Stanford, runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. His coach, Jim Harbaugh, would walk around and tell him before every game, feed them your pads, Toby. Just feed them your pads. That's what Jason Snelling's been doing all day today.
2nd down and 5 from the 41 of the Buccaneers. Jason Snelling. 1st down inside the 30. And finally slides like a quarterback because he didn't want to be ridden out of bounds. He wanted the clock to keep running. He'll take the 20-yard gain.
And the Falcons will let it go ahead and tick on down to the 2-minute warning. Tremendous job, not just being an athlete, but being a smart man.
The Atlanta Falcons are 2 minutes from history. Dejection on the part of Antonio Bryant on one sideline. And Jason Snelling, who was mainly a fullback at the University of Virginia, a 7th-round pick, had only 28 carries in his first 2 seasons, has 23 in this game alone for 144 yards, averaging over 6 yards a carry, and has been the workhorse in the last couple of drives for Atlanta. 2 minutes remaining, first down on the 21 of Tampa Bay. Here's Snelling getting the call again, and why not? And Geno Hayes will bring him down. Well, today's game being produced by Pete Macheska and directed by Artie Kempner. The technical producer is Marvin Kale. The technical director is John Howard. The audio mixer is Jeff Cohen. The associate director is Fran Morrison, and the broadcast associate is Yvonne Wagoner. In Los Angeles, thanks to Scott Ackerson, Bob Levy, Stephanie Medina, Janice Kazaza, Jack Simmons, and Jerry Steinberg. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Thanks to our spotter, Chris Visser, our statistician, Rick Odioso. And a great job by our crew all season long. 2nd and 11, Snelling again. What a workhorse Snelling has been down the stretch. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Falcons. Play action. And the pass is and it's getting hot and heavy down the stretch in the AFC. Meanwhile, Matt Bryant with a 36-yard field goal with 1:05 on the clock in the 4th. And Bryant's kick is good, and that should ice it with 1 minute to go for the Falcons, who now lead Raheem Morris and the hopeful Buccaneers today 20-10. And hopeful they were, trying to make it 3 in a row to close the season after a couple of impressive road victories, particularly last week in New Orleans. But this field goal, 2nd of the game for Bryant.
Remember, the Buccaneers had blocked an attempt earlier in the game. This time, no one able to leak through the line, and Bryant knocks it home.
And how about the Atlanta Falcons? And you look at the future of Josh Freeman, and they do have a future, this team. And in this division, you're never that far behind.
Is it only one time in all the years of the NFC South has it not been the team who finished last the year before going to first the next year? You're right, Dick, you're not too far off.
But for the Atlanta Falcons, finally, in the 44th year of their existence, they establish back-to-back winning seasons. And Arthur Blank, the team's owner, normally is on the sideline, and I'm sure there he is, Arthur Blank. When he made the purchase, someone told him, well, your team never had back-to-back winning years. He says, I don't believe it. He had to go back, check the records. This was in 2007. He said, you're right.
He signed the check and bought the team, saying, surely that can't be true. And then he looked up and went, boy, it was true.
He didn't want his money back. Spurlock running it out. He's a threat, and a flag goes down from upfield, and Spurlock is tackled at the 25.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 58 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty.
On the run, and the pass incomplete, trying to go to Kellen Winslow.
And you alluded to that win over the Jets in New York. That win was such a big win because it came the night after Dallas beat New Orleans, and Atlanta knew that they couldn't go to the playoffs and went out the next day and beat the Jets anyway.
10-point lead and the 3-man rush against Freeman, who goes underneath, and Winslow falls down after making the catch. So Arthur Blank, who said today, I'm at peace with this team. And for a while, you didn't know if that was going to be the case, because the Falcons got off to a good start, winning 4 of their first 5, dropping 4 of their next 5, losing 2, and now winning 3. Clayton, Michael Clayton seeing his first action, and that's going to wrap it up. Maybe one more play for Tampa Bay. Winslow and the game.